Hey, it's early morning here in London, and I'm about to head home. Feeling tired and well spent, and part of me always likes to. I know these are lives; they're sort of in a particular way, but it's like this feels very on the fly. But I was remembering this morning in the shower, this is just going to be a little quickie. A little quickie before I head to the airport. I recently had two people who I care about, and I really care about them, and I care about our relationship. And so I had two different people reflect to me the impact of me not responding to their communications when they reached out. And they had their own words, and I hope I'm not putting words in their mouth, but they both expressed some place of feeling hurt, and then anger might be too strong of a word, but there was a frustration. And first, I guess the piece I want to highlight first is really their generosity in telling me, in sharing with me what the impact was, because both of them, they could have just closed their hearts a little bit and we could have had a much more surface relationship. They could have just said, that's fine, and whether they walk away completely, hey Ben, you're up really early or late or something. Isn't it really like crazy early in the US right now? Anyway, first I want to acknowledge their generosity and the capacity that we each have to be generous in that way with relationships that matter to us and share an uncomfortable truth, because I felt challenged for sure, but also really honored by the generosity of their truth and not just walking away. And the other two pieces that I got for me were, one is that I tend to minimize, like I tend to assume that I have no impact in this, like that my non-response wouldn't matter. So not like, oh, I have no impact in the world, but there's a way on a certain kind of level that there's a way that I imagine that like my presence or lack of presence in a room doesn't matter, or my response to an email or my lack of response it's not gonna matter to people. So there's like a subtle thread there that I'm sitting with. And the second was really a new one for me. And that's fun, Ben. Woohoo! I hope that, I don't know, just sending celebratory to the completion of certification weekend. That's a doozy. The piece that I really got was this place where when I don't know. So both of the communications I received were an invitation for a response, and I didn't know how to respond. There was a question, and my real answer was, I don't know. I don't know yet. And I realized, there's of course, general overwhelm of email and what have you, but there's a way that I'll let things slide down the inbox or whatever, or that I'll see them and then set them aside, and it's rarely a lack of caring or like, oh, that person doesn't matter, or I don't care about that relationship, but when I don't know my own immediate response, like I don't know how to give a response, mark is unread, put it back until I know. And with one person, with one of the people who shared with me, I was able to go back and say that, and she was actually, she was able to say like, oh, I would have loved to just hear, you don't know. Like, I would have loved the response, I don't know yet. And I thought like, wow, I don't, not only am I uncomfortable with my own I don't know, but I assume that that's going to be a problem with other people. I haven't had a chance yet to share that piece with the other person. Mostly I was wanting to let their communication with me land first and just receive it. And there's a place for me to go back and say, hey, this is what happened for me. But I'm really, it's funny that you're here actually, Ben, because I have been sitting a little bit with what part of this is my one Enneagram-ishness, that if I don't know, I assume that'll be a problem. And then, what parts of it are personal and perhaps not related to that, but that there's some, and what parts of it perhaps are universal, which is one of the reasons that I'm sharing it here. But where I have discomfort with I don't know, and both inside myself, like that being true for me, just in me, and then my own, I would almost call it an anxiety, like an anxiety with showing my own I don't know to other people and having that be a response. I'm realizing as I say this that was a piece that I brought in January when I first really landed in the year-long, I'll call it mastermind for lack of a better word, but it's a community of incredibly deep and extraordinary coaches and leaders. And when we had our very first live session in January, I partnered with one of the other participants, and it was like, what is one of the ways that I will not get what I came here for in this group? And I realized one of the ways is if I don't share what I want in the moments when sharing that shows that I don't know something or that I need something. And so anyway, it's beautiful to see. I'm appreciating seeing that little arc for me as well. Thanks, Ben. I appreciate that. So that's what I got for this morning. I'm gonna call my Uber and head my way to the tube and go to the airport with just a lot of tenderness in my heart from my, oh man, I did not plan to do this on Facebook Live. Oh. I feel incredibly full from this 2 weeks in London. And man, am I glad to go home. Somehow I feel very comforted that you're here, Jamie. Thank you.